And then now we are in the process of putting some raffia grass on the boat for camouflage. I bought this box here full of grass, ordered it from, I can't think of the name of the company right now. I'll add it in the text that comes in down here at the bottom. I ordered the grass from them. I got dark or medium brown, olive green, the cattail, edge, and then sand. The cattail and the edge are pretty close to each other. The edge has a little bit more of a brownish color, where the cattail seems to be slightly more gray. I'm doing it a little bit different than what most people do. Most people do, like I did up on the door there, they take a big clump of one color and put it in place, and they put a different color next to it. I've been going through and grabbing a normal camo pattern I've been doing is 1 or 2 strands of green, 1 or 2 to none of the brown, about 3 or 4 of the cattail, about 5 of the edge, and usually somewhere between 1 and 3 of the sand. What I do then is I take that clump and I weave it. I'm cutting out in this reed mat I have. I'm cutting out and removing sections of reed so I get pockets here. And then what I do is you can see it properly. I take the reed or the camo, I put it behind the reed, around, back up, and then out here, you can see, and then fold it down. And then taking it and doing it in layers all the way up. As I build the layers, I'm grabbing sections and zip tying them together. So I had a clump over here, I zip tied a clump over here, I zip tied. Then I took off the bottom of these 2 clumps, you can see here, and zip tied it together. So what that does is it really locks it in real nice in the side. If you don't do that, you put just the big clumps on, you get what I got up here, where you see everything just blew right over the top. Same way up there in the corner, just blew right over the top, and all the ends are all stuck inside the boat, and it doesn't really look good like grass. That's what happens when you trailer it down the road. So this here I put on at home, and then drove over here to the storage unit to put the boat in, and I got up to about 45-50 miles an hour, and I have not straightened it out at all. That's exactly how it came in here. So it holds onto the boat a lot nicer. At home I had I took a section of rope and put grass on there, and I originally started on that one with doing, a clump of this color, then a clump of that color, then a little bit of green, then back to this color, I kept on alternating clumps of the different colors. Then I went back through and added the mixture stuff in the middle. The mat turned out pretty nice. My original plan was I was going to connect it back there by the motor, run it down the front here up to the bow of the boat, so this whole section would be draped over in grass. When I laid it out on the boat, yeah, it came all the way up to the edge up here, but when I draped it down, it was pretty much touching down below the top of the tire here, so I'd had a ton of grass laying in the water. You can see over here, you can see where the colored grass ends right here. I have it just draping over the edge of the boat, so that's going to be perfect for hunting. It won't be soaking in the water, but it'll cover this whole walk around deck so it doesn't stand out like it did before. What I did find though is that piece of rope I made covers the roof really nice. So instead of covering it with a bright yellow kayak, I'll use that rope section, and what's nice about it is I can take it off, because when we're picking up decoys and push pulling around that roof up there, because I did the same thing on the roof as I did here, the reed mat sticks up, that actually catches all the decoys from sliding down and off the back. So I can stack decoys up there as we're picking them up. Push pole lays up there real nice. You can actually see a notch missing in the grass from the reed right above the light there. That's actually where the push pole sticks out. Yeah, so I like having the roof empty when I'm not doing anything. So that reed mat, or the rope, can't talk today. The rope with the grass on it will be used to cover the roof. I'll probably just shorten the rope up, make a couple sections out of it. So I'm going to do this around the sides, the front, part of the upper part of the back, so I'm always going to be backed up against something. The back section, like this, on the back side I'll do. And after I'm done with all that, I'll figure out if I need to add anything else. The other thing I'm going to look at doing is, don't know if I'll get it done this year or not, is putting a couple of spotlights on the front. Basically like off-road lights, because I have a switch inside, I can turn them on, and that way we won't have to hold the spotlight when we're motoring along. We can just use the off-road lights. I think if there's anything else. Oh, the last part of the project, which I didn't get to this year, which just a real brief life update. Beginning of August, I blew a disc out in my lower back, and when I blew the disc out, it lost feeling in my left foot. And I couldn't walk. I had a hard time standing. I spent 2 nights in the hospital before they got rid of most of the pain, but then I still couldn't walk properly and ended up having to have part of my disc removed in my lower back. So I'm still recovering from that. I'm actually getting around pretty good now, but I have a 10-pound weight limit, so pretty much the grass is about the only thing I can lift to put on the boat. So the project of taking this engine off and putting that engine on the mud motor has been on hold. I'm hoping to get a weekend here with my 20-year-old son who can do all the lifting, and I can just do all the pointing, and we'll get the engine swapped out. And then once I'm off of disability, the last thing I'm going to have to do is rework this upper bracket here, because this isn't going to, I don't think that's going to line up on the new motor. I'll have to see how it does, and might have to either just put an extension plate in here to make it higher or lower, or I may just have to cut all this off, excuse me, and just extend it to where it needs to be. Be putsy, but nothing too complicated. So that's about what we got on the boat now. If I have any other, I'll give you another update once I get the grassing done. Well, we have finished applying the camel grass to the front side of the boat blind. You can see I sort of intermixed the colors so that it wasn't just one solid pattern. I got a little bit heavier in the green in the middle, more of the dead cattail look towards the back end. Everything is zip tied together. You can see how the zip ties are, like I explained before. And a lot of people think, well, zip ties stand out. Well, if a duck gets close enough that they can see the zip ties on the boat, it better be dead. That's where I got today. This is 2 days worth of work to get that done. Next job will be doing the front side over here and aft end of the boat. Then we'll get the back side of the blind as time permits. I thought it was most important to get the front of the blind. What I still have to work on is I have to figure out, I have some of that plastic Rogers grass. I'm going to get a box of it down here somewhere. Yeah, the stuff down here. A Duracover by Rogers. I have some of that set up to cover the top of the boat coming off the roof line this way, but I always end up with a big gap out here in the front, so I still need to design some sort of face blind, I guess you'd call it, to put up there that you can knock down when you stand up. Either that, or I can use that Rogers grass I have and do a vertical one, but I'd rather save that for the overhead stuff. So when I figure something out, I'll post that up too. Well, that's probably about all I'm going to do on the grassing until I get the complete boat done. So have a good one.